Hey everyone! I hope that you are having a good day so far. It's Wednesday. Sorry, I almost said it was Tuesday. It's Wednesday, and this is the webinar, Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About Becoming a Lularoe Consultant, but Were Too Afraid to Ask. So I'm just going to hang tight here while we get some people on. And I know that people may be running a few minutes late, so we'll just wait until a few people get on the webinar, and then we'll get started. So essentially, I'm going to just introduce myself a little bit, and then I'm going to go right to a slide presentation where I'll show you a little bit about what it takes to become a Lularoe consultant. And at the end, we'll do a live Q&A where you'll see my face again, and I'll answer your questions that you have. Let's get started. I'm going to share. I'm going to go right to my PowerPoint presentation, and we'll get started. So this is everything you ever wanted to know about becoming a Lularoe consultant, but were too afraid to ask. So I appreciate that you signed up here for the webinar today. So let's talk a little bit about some of the reasons why you might have signed up. So maybe, like a lot of us, you love Lularoe clothing and you want a discount. It'd be nice to save a little money on all those clothes you're buying. Or you aren't exactly happy with where you are in your career and you're kind of looking for something new. I can totally relate to that, as I'll tell you in a little bit. Or you're currently in direct sales with another company, but you aren't seeing the success that you were hoping for. And lastly, you would love to supplement your current income with a part-time job like Lularoe. So for those of you watching, if you said yes to any of those, good news, you are in the right place. That is exactly the reason why I created this webinar and the exact reason that you're here today. And I'm going to show you what it takes to become a Lularoe consultant. So in the next half hour, I'm hoping to keep it under half an hour. So we'll have time for some Q&A. But here's what you're going to learn: how to become a Lularoe consultant and the costs associated with that, what it takes to sell over $10,000 a month in Lularoe, how to balance work, life, and Lularoe. Believe me, it's definitely a challenge. And then we're going to do the live Q&A at the end of the webinar. So I thought I would start off by introducing myself. I know most of you probably came from my group, so you are familiar with me, but you may not be familiar with what I've done in the past 10 or so years. But I live in Austin, Texas. I'm a mom of 3, wife of 1, I like to say. And in the last 10 years, I've actually started and sold 6 internet businesses. So I'm kind of a serial entrepreneur. It's what I like to do. But I have never done direct sales before. And so I wanted to just kind of show you what my journey into going from a Lularoe, customer to a consultant looked like, because I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. So I'm sure you've seen this "how addicted are you" meme that goes around. Stage 1, Lula what, Lula who. Stage 2, tried the leggings, give me all the leggings. Stage 3, I'm naming my children Irma, Amelia, Nicole, and Carly. And stage 4, your husband has hidden your credit cards and you're thinking about becoming a consultant. Well, friends, check out this Facebook status that I did almost a year ago. April 14, 2016. I was seeing Lularoe all over the place and I just did not understand it. So I went to my Facebook page and I said, what is the deal with Lularoe? All of my Facebook friends are going crazy about it and I don't know what it is. What am I missing? Well, finally, I decided to, get in on the craze. I bought a pair of leggings, and then I bought a Randy, and then I bought an Amelia, and then I bought more leggings and more Randys and Amelias. And then, as luck would have it, I started seeing a lot of my friends become consultants. So I spent 5 years being a coupon blogger. And it seemed like all of my friends who were coupon bloggers were kind of jumping on board with being a Lularoe consultant. And because I know that we had similar experiences with blogging, I thought I need to figure this out. I need to really look into it. And so I talked to one of my former coupon blogger friends, who is now Lularoe consultant, and she told me that she was selling over 6 figures a month in Lularoe. And I was like shocked. I was like, I'm sorry, say what? Over 6 figures a month? She completely just gone out of the gate, blew it up, had major, major success. And so guys, I don't know about you, but when I hear someone, being successful, I think if she can do it, I can do it too. So I went ahead and I signed up at the end of September. And then in November, I officially became a Lularoe consultant. So if you're doing the math here, I've only been a consultant for just over 2 months. And in those 2 months, it's already completely changed my life. So in the first 30 days with Lularoe, I sold over $13,500 in clothing. Guys, that's a lot of leggings. And here's the deal, guys. I had never done direct sales before. As a matter of fact, I was scared to death at sales. All of my former businesses had been like online where I can just email people. I don't have to talk to them. I certainly don't have to sell to them. So I was very nervous to go into this because I had never done direct sales before. I didn't have an in-home launch party. So I just moved to Texas about a year ago. I don't have a whole huge group of friends like I did back when I lived in Maine. So when I got my inventory, I know a lot of the other consultants, they'll have like this huge in-home party where they invite their family and their friends from church, and it's huge. And I didn't have that opportunity because I just don't know a whole lot of people here. So I didn't have an in-home launch. And because we're renting, I didn't have a special room for my inventory. The first month, all of my inventory was in my master room closet, which my husband hated. And then I didn't have a fancy shipping printer. A lot of consultants have these like $200 shipping printers. And I was just like, I'm going to be really scrappy and just see what happens. But you know what? It worked out because in the first 30 days, I sold over $13,000. And what that relates to in terms of profit, I'll tell you guys that in a little bit. So let's talk a little bit about how you become a Lularoe consultant. And guys, I can't see the chat box right now. So if you're asking questions, I apologize. I'm just going to answer all the questions at the end, because right now, as I'm sharing my screen, I cannot see anything else. Okay, so how do you become a Lularoe consultant? Well, first you have to find an active current consultant who's willing to take you on as a sponsor. So you can't just go to the Lularoe website and sign up by yourself. You have to find someone who's willing to mentor and coach you. And you guys, this has like been a huge blessing to have someone who's more experienced than you teach you the ways, because there is a lot that can go wrong in Lularoe, especially if you're new to direct sales. So the first thing you're going to want to do is find a consultant that you trust, that has had success, to take you under their wing. Then you'll fill out paperwork. Whoever you find, that consultant will give you a certain link, and you sign up with her link, fill out some paperwork, and then at that point you go into what's called the queue. So the queue is kind of the waiting period. And right now the waiting period is between 7 to 8 weeks from the day you sign your paperwork until you become official Lularoe consultant. Now, I know you're probably thinking, holy crap, that's a long time to wait. But guys, it goes by so fast, and it gives you all the time in the world to do all the research and setting up and saving your money to become a consultant, because there's beyond the inventory that you have to buy, you still have to buy hangers and racks and get all that stuff ready. So that 8 weeks will go by very fast, and it's a good time to really keep in touch with your sponsor, so they can help you sort of, prepare for when your initial inventory does finally come. So after that, as I mentioned, in the queue, you just prepare to sell and do the research. And then eventually you get your call. Lularoe will call you, on some day and say, congratulations, you're officially a consultant. What packages do you want? There are different initial inventory packages, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And once you get the call and you're official, you place your order, and then about a week later, you get your inventory, and then you just start selling. You start taking photographs of your inventory, and you start selling, and you just get out of the gate. Now, if you've used your 8 weeks in the queue wisely, you're going to be good to go as soon as you get your inventory. And believe me, it is exciting stuff. I got my inventory on the week of Black Friday, and I decided to do a Thanksgiving night launch into Black Friday. Oh my goodness, that was probably not a good idea, because I just was taking pictures and doing things all day on Thanksgiving. So you definitely want to give yourself some time to prepare for that initial launch. Okay, so at this point, you're like, okay, that's good, Christy, that's good, but how much does it cost? So the most basic Lularoe package is about $5,000. Now, before you like jump off this webinar or pick your jaw off the floor, I'm going to tell you exactly what I did to finance that. I did not take money out of my savings. I didn't, pay for it out of my pocket. So I'll tell you exactly what I did. But let me tell you what you get. So for just about those $5,000, I think it's a little less than $5,000 right now, you get about 300 pieces of Lularoe clothing. You get your selling kit, which comes with a planner and all the signage that you need for your pop-ups. You have access to like hundreds of graphics for social media. So, with all your, you might see me do roll call and invoices and thank yous. All of that is put together by Lularoe. You also have weekly training webinars, and you actually have weekly training webinars when you're in the queue as well. So Lularoe is completely huge on continuous training. And because this company is growing so fast, they do these weekly training webinars to keep us all sort of in the loop. But the best thing that this package does is that it gives you the ability to be your own boss. As soon as you receive that inventory, you now have a means to make money anytime you want. So I want to do a little math with you for those of you who are sort of scared by that $5,000 number. So right now, the most basic package that you can get comes with 290 pieces of Lularoe clothing, and it's about $4,900. But retail, if you sold all of those pieces, they would retail for $11,905. So you guys, that's a profit of 58%. And I would say that the average profit minus cost on everything is about 50%. So I told you I made, $13,500 my first month. Roughly about 50% of that was profit. Those were my earnings. Because I'm just starting out, I actually reinvested all of those earnings back into getting more inventory, because my goal is to sort of grow my inventory to have a larger selection. But a profit of 58% is not bad, guys. That's actually really amazing. And so let's talk about 5 ways that you can finance Lularoe. And if you're serious about this, if you're thinking like, wow, I'd really like to do this, there are definitely ways to make this happen. And so the first one is obvious. If you have, money in your savings and your checking, and you do have that, you're fortunate enough to have that money, then you would go with that. I totally understand that not everyone has the means for that. So this is what I did. I applied for a 0% interest credit card. So I went with Capital One. I got a 0% credit card that was good for 21 months. So I will not have to pay any interest on that credit card until I think it's February of next year. So I have 21 months to fund and pay back myself with 0 interest. So, and I know a lot of the girls do this. This, for me, was definitely an easy way for me to just kind of get started without having to worry about going into the money that we've saved up or our checking account or whatnot. The other thing that some of the consultants do is they take a personal loan, and you can do this either from the bank or from a family friend or a family or a friend. Of course, you want to be careful if you're, dealing with family and friends when it comes to money, but some people just go to the bank and they can take out a personal loan or a business loan for that. The other way that you can save on your package is to go in with a partner. So with Lularoe, they completely allow you to go in with a partner. The only thing is that you have to form an LLC, which is a limited liability company, in your state. And it's pretty simple. It's just a matter of filling out a little bit of paperwork and paying a fee to become an LLC. But once you do that, you can go in to Lularoe with a partner, and you guys will be sort of one entity, and you can split the cost and profits that way. I know a lot of people like to go in with someone because it makes it more fun. I think if I had someone closer to me that was closer to me, I would have definitely gone in with someone because it's a lot of work. And the last thing is that, and especially at this time of year, people are using their income tax refund, right? So instead of taking your tax refund and, going and buying a TV or whatever, you use it to invest in your future. And so I know that a lot of women in the queue right now, I'm in a lot of the Facebook groups, and they're planning on using their tax refund to fund their Lularoe journey. So those are 5 ways that you can finance Lularoe. And so some of the ways that you can ensure that you'll be a success, and some of the things that I've done, is one, get a sponsor who's successful. So, you want to get someone who's had a proven track record with Lularoe, because they will be like your go-to all the time. Any questions that you have, anytime you're feeling down or discouraged, you want to go to your sponsor, and you want that sponsor to have some answers for you, to have some ideas from you, to help you brainstorm. So definitely get a sponsor who's successful. Treat Lularoe like a business. So, you're investing $5,000 to $6,000 to $7,000 in Lularoe. You need to treat it seriously. Treat it like a business. Get yourself a desk, get yourself some programs where you can manage your money and your finances and your expenses. Make sure that you're always working on your business every single day. That has been the secret to my success, is that every single day, and I'll show you my planner once you see my face again. Every single day, my calendar is filled up. I either have a multi-consultant sale, an album sale, a live sale, a hostess event. I am selling every single day because I know that that's what it's going to take to get me there. So my personal goal is to cruise qualify. Lularoe gives you a free cruise if you sell over $12,000 a month for 6 months. So guys, that's my ultimate goal. And that's why I fill in my calendar every single day, because I want that cruise. Mama needs a vacation, okay? And then the last is you get out of it what you put into it. I am not going to BS you guys. This is a lot of work, and I put a lot of time into it, okay? I have 3 kids, and I have a full-time job, so I make it work in the mornings, at night, whenever I can, because I know that if I put the work in, I'm going to get it back. This is not the business where you can just get your clothes, take crappy pictures, throw it on Facebook, and pray for the best. That's not how this works. So you definitely want to get involved. And so, again, the secret for me to making $10,000 or more a month. So I told you my first month I was on track to do, or I did 13.5 thousand. This month in January, I've already beat that, and I'm on track to go higher than that. So I don't know what my final numbers will be, but I know that I have already beat my first month's earnings so far. So I'm excited about that. And like I said, you guys, I've never done direct sales before. This is all friggin' brand new to me. But some of the things that I do, like I said, to fill up my calendar, I do in-home parties. I'm actually doing a party with my son's daycare where I'm going to go in on a Saturday, set up, and they're going to invite all the staff in. So that should be really good. I do online hostess events, multi-consultant sales. There are just dozens and dozens of these multi-consultant sales on Facebook that you can participate in. There are vendor events if you know of festivals or fairs going on in your area. You can do fundraisers. Lularoe will actually donate some of the portion, or donate, I think they match it, or don't quote me on that, but Lularoe does contribute if you do a fundraiser, as long as it's home office approved. You can do album sales, flash sales, outfit sales, VIP personal sales, and pop-ups. So there's just so many ways. The ways to sell Lularoe are almost endless, and I am so surprised at how easily that this sells and people love it. So in terms of work-life balance, a lot of the consultants want to do this because they want to leave their full-time job and they want to stay home, and that's a completely amazing and valid reason, and I totally understand that. Well, when your kids are home, it's a little bit hard to work. So what I recommend is that you work when your kids are in school, when they're napping, when they're, in bed at night. Maybe you have to get up early in the morning. You have to set hours for yourself, because otherwise it can be consuming, especially if you plan to do a lot of sales online. You will, you're going to be on Facebook quite a bit answering questions and, sending invoices. So if you set hours for yourself that say, okay, I'm only doing 8 to 12 today, and then tomorrow I'll do 9 to 11 at night when the kids are in bed. That will help you sort of take ownership of your time. I also encourage you to involve your family in the process. So as you guys probably have seen, Sailor helps me with my live sales. My husband helps me with doing inventory and with the photography and layouts. It gets everyone involved, and it becomes more of a family business rather than mom's job, which is nice. And also you need to take time to enjoy the money you are earning. So at the end of my first month, we took a trip to Nashville for a week. And then tomorrow I'm headed to San Diego for 4 days. And so that's my downtime. That's the time where I won't be doing any Lularoe. I'm just going to enjoy myself a little bit. So those are just some ways that you can balance your work, your life, and Lularoe. All right. And I know you guys might be thinking, oh my goodness, this sounds too good to be true. But the truth is Lularoe is not for everyone. And so you may have seen, if you're in any of the buy-sell trade groups, you've seen that there's a lot of consultants going out of business. And everyone has their own circumstances. But what I thought I would do is tell you guys like what Lularoe is not and who it is not for, because I don't want to lead you down a path that you're not cut out for. And so I'll tell you kind of what it takes to be a Lularoe consultant. And if you think that you fit, then great. But if any of the reasons that I'm about to list you can relate to, then you might want to reconsider. So if you think that Lularoe is like a get-rich-quick scheme, it's absolutely not, because I can't tell you how much work it is. It is a lot of work. It's work that you're going to love, but it's a lot of work. Like I said, you can't just throw crappy pictures up there and expect to be selling 6 figures a month. There's a lot involved in that. So if you're looking for get rich quick, this is not your jam. If you're not willing to put the work in, this is not going to be for you. If you're not willing to go outside of your comfort zone. So that's the biggest one, I think. So if you're a type of person who's like avoids not confrontation, but it avoids new situations because of the anxiety it causes, Lularoe may not be the right place for you, because you're constantly having to step outside your comfort zone. For example, like me, I told you I was afraid to do sales. Like I didn't want to appear salesy and skeezy, and I was just like, oh, can I do this? But you know what I did? I just put one foot in front of the other, and I was like, I'm just gonna be me, and I'm gonna, show them the clothes. I'm gonna do it the best way possible. And that in itself was me stepping out of my comfort zone in a major, major way. Me doing in-home parties with people that I didn't really know very well. Definitely stepping out of your comfort zone. So if you say to yourself, like, you can recognize that you want something more for your life and you're willing to step outside your comfort zone to get there, then Lularoe is a great place for you. But if you're not, if you're like, nope, I like my tiny bubble, I want to stay in my bubble, then Lularoe may not be for you. And you aren't willing to make the time to learn the processes. Like I said, a lot of work's involved. There are a lot of different processes involved. So if any of these are resonating with you, then Lularoe may not be for you. But Lularoe could be for you, and I hope it is for you. And so if Lularoe is for you, if you have big dreams and need a way to achieve them. So guys, I am like a dream maker. That's all I do, is I sit around and I dream, and I always want more, and I want to reach higher goals. And that's like it can be a downfall, because I'm constantly in forward motion. Like I want to be moving towards something all the time. Lularoe is helping me get there. So I mentioned earlier that we were renting a home in Austin. Well, just yesterday, we closed on a brand new house that I don't think we would have even tried to buy yet had it not been for the income that I was getting with Lularoe. So we anticipated maybe looking for a house in the fall, once our lease was up here, once we had some time to like save some more money, our income tax refund and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, it just became clear that, one, we need more room for the Lularoe stuff that I have, and 2, that this was actually working out. So we took a huge risk just 3 weeks ago, put an offer in the house, and then closed on it yesterday. And this is because I know that Lularoe has given me this like opportunity to make that much more money, and as much money as I'm willing to put into anyway. So if you have big dreams and are just looking for a way to reach them, Lularoe can be that for you. If you aren't afraid of a little hard work. Now, fortunately, I am a workaholic, so that was good for me. That's, this comes pretty second nature to me. If you aren't afraid of a little hard work, you can make this work for you. If you're willing to take a risk on yourself, if you also have never done direct sales, or if you've been doing the same thing for so long and you're like, I'm just not happy. If you're willing to take a risk on yourself, Lularoe will provide you a great avenue. And then if you love what Lularoe stands for and you want to be a part of it. So this was another part for me. And I say, you might have heard me say this before, like, have you ever seen anyone in a bad mood wearing Lularoe? No, everyone's always so friggin' happy when they're wearing Lularoe, and it makes women feel great of all sizes. And that's what made me want to be a part of it, right? I'm just like, no one's ever moody. No one's ever in a bad mood. Like, they're happy. And I want to be a part of that happiness. Like, and I say this all the time too, but I'm like spreading happiness one pair of leggings at a time. And so, oh my goodness, my FedEx guy just dropped by. Okay, sorry. So I'm spreading happiness one pair of leggings at a time. And that's my why. That's why I got involved in it. So if you do love what Lularoe stands for, you want to be a part of it, it could be a good venue for you. So that is all I have. I'm going to switch back over so you guys can see my face, and hopefully I can see your comments. We're just at about 30 minutes, so we are right on time. All right, let me... Okay, guys, let me get you back. How much did you spend on everything else other than clothes? That's a great question. And I probably spent between $700 and $1,000. I bought hanging racks. I bought hangers. I bought business cards. I bought poly mailers. Pretty much, yeah. So I have 4 hanging racks and then almost 500 hangers. So pretty much I started out pretty basic. So some other consultants just go like crazy. Oh, I bought a mannequin too. Some other consultants go crazy and they, deck out an entire room and they, decorate it. I started pretty basic. So I would say it was between 750 and 1,000, which is kind of on the lower end, compared to what most others spend. Another thing, if you're thinking about becoming a consultant, I recommend that you guys go to YouTube and just watch some of the videos on there. I know that really helped me push me over the edge, where I watch video after video of women saying how they were able to retire their husbands from their job, and now their husbands are working with them. And although my husband probably would never want to leave his job and come work with me, that is like a small goal for me. Like, I would love to be able to say, guess what, honey, you don't have to work anymore. Like, we're just going to do Lularoe, and you can be a stay-at-home father or whatever he wants to be. Like I said, I think it would take some convincing, but that's one of my personal small goals. If you guys want to ask more questions, please feel free. Like I said, this is about all the questions that you were too afraid to ask, and I'm here to answer them for you because I'm an open book. I love sharing what I know because I know it's helpful for people. Well, Heather, I'm making profit now, but I'm choosing to reinvest it. I'm at a point now where I have about, 800 pieces. My goal is to get to 1,000. And so actually I have several shipments coming in this week while I'm in San Diego. By the time I get home from San Diego, my inventory will probably be at 1,000. And at that point, then I'm just going to start taking profit. I try and order every 2 to 3 days. So anytime I sell between 25 and 30 pieces, I go in and I make a new order of 25, 30 pieces. When I first started, when I sold 25, I would order 50. So now I'm just kind of incrementally doing my inventory because I already have, 10 to 15 styles in each 10 to 15 pieces in each style and size. So I could start taking a profit at any point. I just haven't yet because I just want to grow. I am of the mindset that the more clothes you have, the more you have to sell. So like I said, I'm trying to get to 1,000. But I know, some consultants do it differently. And, some consultants, what they do is they sort of split all the revenue that comes in. Half of it goes to inventory, half of it or 40% goes to profit, and then they'll keep some for taxes. So different consultants do different things. I'll probably go to that model pretty shortly, I would say by next month. But for now, I'm just kind of growing. All right, so Heather's saying, I won't be able to fill every day with selling, unfortunately, but can commit to 3 to 4 days a week, probably 2 to 3 hours at a time. Is that okay? I think that's great. 3 to 4 days a week, you'd be surprised how much you can do in those days. Like I said, you know, you do an album sale, a live sale, a multi-consultant sale. You can do those and still make a great profit. I will warn you, in the beginning, it's probably going to take you a lot longer to do all those things. But once you hit your stride, 3 to 4 days, 2 to 3 hours a week is totally, totally doable. I was my first month, I overprocessed myself. I just couldn't get the hang of it. And so, but now I've got the hang of it, and 3 to 4 days, 2 to 3 hours at a time, that's what I'm really hoping to get to shortly. Any other questions, guys? So here's the thing. You know, I know we're doing this webinar now. If you know, later tonight, tomorrow, next week, you're like, oh, I wish I had asked this, like, reach out to me. I want to be able to help you guys. Like, I want to answer any questions that you might have. I get questions now from people who find my YouTube videos and private messages. And I'm, like I said, I'm a pretty much an open book. And I'll tell you anything, the good, the bad, the ugly. Like I said, I cried definitely my first week of doing Lularoe because I was so overwhelmed. So that was the ugly part, but for the most part, it's been good. But if you are interested in joining, if you're like, yes, I think this is for me, I would love the opportunity to be your sponsor, to help you out. There's a link in the description that has my link to join. And if you click that and you fill out the paperwork, I'll get an email that says so-and-so joined, and that would be awesome. If you want to schedule like a private conversation with me, totally do that too, because I know it's a big investment and it's scary. And so if you need me to sort of answer some questions in private, can totally do that. All right, Heather says, do you seek out multi-consultant sales, or are you given like a list of those that are available and asked to join? So, well, between my sponsor and I, we kind of seek a lot out. She and I are also both working on a list, however, where we can just give our, I call them Lula babies, our Lula babies a list and say, here are the multi-consultant sales, but we also want to be able to tell them which ones are good and which ones are bad, because not all of them are awesome. Some are amazing, like I'll sell 20 pieces in one night, and some I'll sell 0. So what we're kind of working on is putting a list of all those multi-consultant sales and kind of rating them just within our team, so that way, you know, setting up our Lula babies for success. So far I have 2 women who have signed up under me, and they are in the queue right now. They've been in the queue for a few weeks, but they should be consultants soon. And so, you know, between myself and my sponsor, we are hell-bent on sort of making, you know, our Lula babies and our team grow. That's what I've always been committed to, is helping women either grow their business, or when I was a coupon blogger, I helped women sort of manage their finances, find the best deals. And I can't tell you how many times I would get emails saying like, thank you so much. You've, you know, impacted our family and our family's finances. And Lularoe's sort of given me another way to do that. And I just love that feeling. So I just love that feeling. Someone's asking, how do you learn how to put outfits together? Where do you get ideas for photographing photos? I'm horrible with social media. Oh, that's a great question. I stalk Instagram. I look at multi-consultant sales. Every time I see something I like, I take a screenshot on my phone and I put it in like a swipe file. So I have memes, I have outfit ideas, I have like just different angles of photography that I liked. Every time I see something that I like, I screenshot it and I save it for later, and then I make it my own, or I copy it completely because it's just so darn smart. So that's what I do. Sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I can't sleep. I'll just scroll through Instagram and I'll screenshot things that I like. So that's kind of how I learned to put outfits together and photography together. In terms of what I use for my pictures, I use Photoshop. Just because I've used it for, I don't know, like a dozen years now. So it's definitely the easiest for me. There are apps out there. There's one called Consultant Aid. I think there's also one called Lula Collage. Some people use Canva. Some people use PicMonkey. These are all, 2 of them, the apps are on the phone, and then PicMonkey and Canva are on the desktop. And the ones on the desktop are free. I think the apps you have to pay for, but those will help you get really nice photos. If anyone on my team is interested in learning how to use Photoshop, I personally think it's the best of the best. I would be more than willing to do a sort of like a Photoshop training to help you guys. Because in Photoshop, you can brighten your images, which in my opinion really matters. Sometimes if you're, if you're taking pictures in a cellar or in a darkly lit room, the clothes just don't look as nice. So with Photoshop, you can brighten and lighten. So that's why I use it. Linda's asking, what percentage of profit do I make per piece? The profit's just about 50% on between the wholesale cost, the retail, and then sort of my expenses like shipping and packaging and all that. So it's about 50%. And I am not wearing Lip Sense right now. I am wearing the NYX Liquid Suede. It is my go-to lipstick. I keep saying that I'm going to try Lip Sense, but I haven't tried it yet. But this does stay on forever, and it's nice matte. Thank you for asking about my lips. Awesome. You guys are asking really great questions, by the way. So thank you for being involved. Thank you for hanging out with me. I still have 11 people hanging out after 41 minutes, so I totally appreciate that. Let's see here. Okay, guys, I'm gonna I don't see any other questions coming in, so we'll just wrap it up now. Like I said, if you want to chat with me offline about this, send me a private message, send me an email. I'll be happy to answer any questions. So thanks for hanging out with me today, and we'll see you next time. Bye.